Welcome back to the deep dive. We take a piece of content, something interesting, and really break it down for you.
And today we've got something pretty unique. It's a very candid testimonial.
Yeah, really honest. It's from a student, Elliott Stevens, writing directly to his instructor, Marvin.
And what jumps out right away is just how open he is. This isn't your standard thanks for the class note. He gets into the nitty-gritty of his experience in this race and diversity course.
Exactly. And you need the context here. Elliott, he only signed up because he had to. It was a requirement for his Japanese major.
Right, so no big expectations going in. He wasn't looking for some life-changing experience or anything.
Not at all. But then, bam, even before class starts, he sees the workload.
Yeah, he mentions thinking, wow, there's already many tasks that I need to be completing. You can almost hear the surprise.
Totally. A bit of shock to the system, it sounds like. Suggests maybe a learning style he wasn't quite prepared for.
Could be. And then in the actual classes, it intensified. He actually thought, is this man crazy?
Uh-huh. Yeah, that really paints a picture. It points to that initial struggle, maybe adapting to a learning environment that demanded more independence.
It sounds a lot like perhaps a flipped classroom model, you
Yeah.
know, where you engage with material beforehand.
Right. And class time is for discussion application, much more self-directed.
Exactly. And that's a big shift. It takes adjustment. And Elliott's reaction, well, it shows that initial, disorientation.
But here's the thing. He didn't just, check out. He stuck with it.
And he gives a lot of credit to the instructor, Marvin. He talks about Marvin's calm demeanor and straightforward approach.
That seemed to be the anchor for him, didn't it? Helping him navigate that initial what is going on phase.
Absolutely. That connection was clearly important.
And then there's this really powerful part where Elliott reveals something personal.
Oh, yeah, about never being singled out,
yeah.
always feeling like the underdog.
Mhm. Just imagine that feeling, always being in a support role, never the one getting the spotlight.
And then Marvin acknowledges his effort, sees his hard work.
The impact of that is just huge. You can feel it in the writing. It wasn't just feedback.
No, it lit a fire. He says it made him want to keep pushing myself, and more than that, to potentially inspire other people.
It's amazing how that one moment of recognition can just shift everything.
And it connects so well to his own journey. He mentions this spiritual search he'd been on in Japan, trying to build confidence.
Right. And suddenly this required course becomes, well, he calls it a vehicle.
Yeah, a vehicle to actively work on those areas he felt were weaknesses, turning them into strengths. That's not just fulfilling a requirement, that's real growth.
He really reframed the whole experience. And his view of Marvin evolves, too.
Into this model man idea.
Yeah, someone brave enough to challenge students. He calls it tough love, but also open, emotionally honest.
It sounds like Marvin created this space that was challenging, definitely, but also deeply supportive. Not just academically rigorous, but focused on personal growth, too.
Elliott clearly saw him as more than just a teacher, maybe a mentor figure, someone pushing him but also guiding him.
Which really speaks volumes about the potential impact of educators, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And the outcome for Elliott. He flat out calls it transformative and life-altering.
Wow. That's powerful stuff from a single course.
And it even reignited his passion for music, his dream of impacting people through that. It wasn't just a class, it became a real catalyst.
So if we bring this back to you, the listener, Elliott's story really highlights something important.
Yeah, it shows how much growth can happen when you're pushed, when you're in a learning situation that feels maybe a bit uncomfortable at first.
His readiness to adapt, to push through that initial shock instead of backing away, that's what led to this huge self-discovery.
So maybe the question for you is, how do you approach those challenging moments, especially when learning something new?
Are you willing to sit with that discomfort, to maybe take on a more active, self-directed role, even if it feels unfamiliar?
Because as Elliott found out, sometimes the biggest breakthroughs, those truly transformative experiences, happen right outside your comfort zone. Something to think about.